Melbourne hosts the penultimate round of the 2020 Formula One season once again, and going into this weekend, Jaguar will look to try and seal the Constructors' Championship. But they will have plenty of work to do as Ferrari and Haas look to have bounced back after a mixed showing at Belgium. Someone else who's looking to impress is the home favorite Daniel Ricciardo, who seemed to be getting the maximum out of his McLaren on Friday. Audi's straight-line speed advantage will be cut somewhat this weekend, what with the nature of the Melbourne circuit, but the race looks to be all about tire wear, with most teams wanting to avoid the three-stop. And finally, Toto Wolff has been coy all weekend, but the rumors are that Mercedes will be looking to sell off shares in the team to their main sponsor Monster Energy and merge staff and resources with their junior team to save costs. The move would put them in a tricky situation driver-wise, with Wehrlein, Schumacher, and Florsch all competing for 2 seats, but it would certainly alleviate the headache Mercedes have had this season being outraced by their so-called junior team. But as the paddock moves its attention to qualifying, all eyes will be on the top fight, with only 3 points separating the top 3 in the Drivers' Championship. Taking a look now at the starting grid for the 2020 Australian Grand Prix and penultimate round of the season. Once again, it's the Italian man and the Italian car that was quickest of all in qualifying, as Giovinazzi pips Vettel to pole in an inter-team battle that was separated by just 68 thousandths of a second in the end, while Nico Hülkenberg nearly disrupted Ferrari's party after going just 2 thousandths slower than Vettel. He'll be lining up alongside the Jaguar of Stoffel Vandoorne, who does at least go onto the second row of the grid. Meanwhile, just behind him in 5th position on the third row of the grid, it is Daniel Ricciardo in the McLaren in his home race, getting into the top 5 and ahead of Carlos Sainz in the Audi. Then comes the other Haas of Romain Grosjean, a few positions off of his teammate, down in 7th position, and lining up alongside aarava, who was disappointed to start from 8th position. In qualifying, Kevin Magnussen for McLaren in 9th position, just ahead of Sergio Perez, who once again just barely makes it into the top 10. He's followed by the Mercedes of Max Verstappen, the top 11, separated by just 5 tenths in qualifying. Then comes Pascal Wehrlein, Max's teammate, in 12th position and completing that 6th row of the grid. Pierre Gasly in the Red Bull, 13th quickest, does manage to go ahead of both of the Monster Rehab cars, with Mick Schumacher lining up alongside him in 14th position. Leclerc in the Alfa Romeo in 15th position, managing to go quicker than Sophia Florsch in qualifying. Then comes the other Alfa Romeo of Fuoco, bringing up the rear for the team and making it ahead of Nico Kari in the other Red Bull, however. And once again, the Williams cars and Renault cars pretty slow by comparison to the rest of the teams. Lando Norris does manage to get the better of Camara, and at the back, Bottas does manage to get the better of Ocon, but both teams more than a second off the pace.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Aarava here, and welcome back to my F1 MyDriver career mode, episode number 14 today for Season 6 at the Australian Grand Prix. This is the penultimate round of the season. If you did miss the last episode, episode number 13 at the Belgium Grand Prix, be sure to go check that one out before you see this one, because it was a very crucial episode, as you can see by the bottom right-hand side with the drivers' standings. Very, very crucial race that was, because now we can see Carlos Sainz and Stoffel Vandoorne are level on points in the Drivers' Championship. I am 3 points off in 3rd place there, so it is all very, very tight, and it means that this episode is very crucial to basically set ourselves up as best we can going into that finale, of course, at the Brazilian Grand Prix, which will be uploaded at the end of the week on Friday, the finale of Season 6. So, yeah, very, very big episode ahead of us today at the Australian Grand Prix. We've not done the best job in qualifying in P8 there, but Australia has been a pretty decent track for me, for myself in the past. Very aggressive circuit on tyre wear. That will be quite a crucial one, trying to keep the tyres as best we can and maybe potentially doing a bit of an aggressive undercut. I'm feeling that vibe at the moment at the start of this race. We'll just have to see how it goes, really. We're going to get straight into it as we go to 5 red lights for the Australian Grand Prix, the second last round of this season. 5 red lights around and we're underway, and it's a great start for us compared to Romain Grosjean and Daniel Ricciardo. We've already gained 2 places there, up into P6 as we go to turn 1. Giovinazzi off pole position has bottled it. He's down to P3. It's Sebastian Vettel that will lead the way from Stoffel Vandoorne. We've got Hülkenberg tucking in just behind. We tried to go side by side, but Carlos Sainz through turn 2. He's got us there under traction, and now he goes down the inside of the Haskar there to try and maybe squeeze up into P3 as he also dives down the inside of Antonio as we go round the outside of Nico Hulkenberg. Very, very close stuff on the front left there. Can we just about squeeze through? I think we just about will, and we'll get up into P5 now. So a great start for us there. A good start for Alto Carlos Sainz. You can see Vandoorne as well, equally so. So all three of us who are at the top of the championship, we've all made a great start there compared to the cars around us. But you can see at the moment, Sebastian Vettel getting a bit of a lead to Stoffel Vandoorne at the moment. Looks like Antonio Giovinazzi struggling a little bit off pole position at the moment as he's backing up Carlos Sainz into me. And here goes Carlos Sainz now down the back straight on the long swooping left-hander. Will he get it just before into the chicane? Yes, he will. Just before the brake zone there. So great move there for Carlos Sainz. Puts off Antonio Giovinazzi, and now that means he's lost a lot of momentum. So now we can get the slipstream and try and get up into P4 if we can, which will be an absolute stunner of a start here on lap 1. Down the inside there, down the gears, squeeze him out, and we're up into P4. And that has been a very good lap 1 here for all three of us in the championship contention. You can see all of us setting purple lap times. We move swiftly on to the beginning of lap 3. DRS enabled behind us. It's Sergio Perez that goes down the inside of Antonio Giovinazzi. So Giovinazzi really is struggling off pole position, and now Carlos Sainz ahead of us goes down the inside of Stoffel Vandoorne. Very, very close stuff at the moment. The two of them level on point, so this is a crucial battle. Sainz round the outside. We're going to try and get in the mix here as Vandoorne squeezes Sainz out. He goes slowly. We go round the outside. Such a difficult place to make a move around the outside, but it looks like we may just manage. Sainz will keep his nose in there as we enter sector 2, as we'll go through the next right-hander. So close. Still wheel-to-wheel stuff on the right-hand side. Sainz just about squeezes out. Can we try and make a move down the inside? Maybe. We have a little bit of a look. Not going to work out. We just have to make sure we defend from Sergio Perez, who's also creeping up behind us there. You can see very close stuff between Perez, Giovinazzi, Daniel Ricciardo, and then the second Ascot. I think that's Romain Grosjean as Ricciardo tries to go around the outside, actually, and it looks like Romain Grosjean will try to go down the inside of Giovinazzi. So Giovinazzi really is struggling off pole position. Not too sure if he took too much out of his tyres on the qualifying lap to get pole position, but right now at the moment you can see so many cars right up his chuff there. The two McLaren cars. I think Ricciardo, oh my god, Ricciardo has stuck it down the inside of both of them there. He's got the Haas car and the Ferrari car in one move there, and now Giovinazzi finds himself now battling the second Haas car as Hulkenberg has gone up the order, and then right behind them, not too far behind, is Mick Schumacher in the Monster Rehab car and Kevin Magnussen in the McLaren. Meanwhile, we move back to our POV down the main straight. We're going to make a move on Carlos Sainz in a straight line with DRS wide open. Rich mix down the inside to turn 1, and we're up into P3, and now we can hopefully try and just break away from Carlos Sainz. He will have a little bit of a better run. You can see in the mirrors on the left-hand side, so we go defensive to the left. We should be able to squeeze him out, hopefully. Just hit the apex, park it on the apex a little bit, and now we can try and move on and think about getting Stoffel Vandoorne as we move through to the end of lap 4. DRS once again open, and so we'll get the speed down the main straight. As you can see at the moment, it is still Sebastian Vettel leading the way. He's got a very similar gap to what it was on lap 1, so thankfully he's not getting away too much into the distance. And now as we go through turn 2, opening DRS for that second bite of the cherry, here we go. We're going to box this lap to my engineer, because if we get ahead of Vandoorne, we'll have the track position and the advantage to make the pit stop call. So we go down the inside. Very easy move for us. No nonsense stuff there down the inside. We've got the momentum, got the grip at the moment on these super soft tyres, and we're up into P2 now. So we'll swing through and now try our best to maybe catch Sebastian Vettel. But as I said at the very beginning, I think we're going to try and undercut, because I think it's going to be working quite well for us around here. Australia definitely has done in the previous 2 seasons, in Season 5 and Season 4. Meanwhile, as we move later on to the next lap of the Grand Prix, you can see now Carlos Sainz is hustling and harrying Vandoorne. Vandoorne's locked up. He's made a mistake. Vandoorne off circuit a little bit. Now Carlos Sainz is up into P3 now, and now may have Sergio Perez going around the outside of Vandoorne. Vandoorne goes defensive, so at the moment Vandoorne feeling the pressure here in the Jaguar car, and he just about manages to keep ahead of Sergio Perez for now. But we swing through later on into the lap now. Perez is going to have the slipstream down this swooping left-hander. Can he try and get it done into the high-speed chicane around the outside? It's going to be very tricky. I think he's tapped the wall there a little bit as Vandoorne squeezed him very aggressively, but he's going to make it happen down the inside for the second part. The hand of anger has gone up in the cockpit there for Sergio Perez, but I think he's just about pulled it through, and you can see, because of that, you can see one of the McLaren cars, I think that must be Daniel Ricciardo, has got right up the back of the gearbox of Stoffel Vandoorne. Closely behind, just in the distance, is Antonio Giovinazzi, still struggling against those Haas cars, but we're going to come in now at the end of lap 6, meanwhile, for the first set of pit stop phases. So we're going to come on to the set of soft tyres, the yellow wall tyre, try and take those as long as we can probably then strap on another set of soft tyres this afternoon. I think that's how we're going to work it. We'll see what everyone else does. There definitely is a chance some others may try a bit of an alternative strategy, maybe on the medium tyres, but I think we're going to have to go quite aggressive here with 2 sets of soft tyres till the end of the Grand Prix. We're already going aggressive by pitting on lap 6, because I think most people will plan to go till at least lap, I would say 8, I think, on those super soft sets, but I think I can definitely gain a lot more on this undercut, just pushing very hard on a brand spanking new set of tyres, especially with a lot of people on medium and soft tyres from the beginning of this Grand Prix. Obviously, most of the runners outside the top 10 probably opted for the soft or medium tyres. You can see clearly here ahead of us, Seta Camara in one of the first Williams cars we've seen this afternoon. Can we try and feed it down the inside? He's on medium tyres, so it's going to be crucial to get past him and also everyone else we're going to be eventually catching up to, because traffic's going to be a real issue around here. Australia, a lot of dirty air through some of these corners, so we need to just get the moves done when we can, really. So we move on. Speaking of getting the moves done, we move on to lap 8 into the middle of sector 2, catching up to Lando Norris in the second Williams car that we're seeing today, and up ahead a bit of a train of a few Alfa Romeo cars and the 2 Red Bull cars. They learn 2 by 2 like Noah's Ark, where we come through right up Norris's gearbox. Very, very close stuff. Once again, just like we had at Canada with Lando Norris, we go side by side. We'll go down the inside. We should have this under braking, able to squeeze him out, just like we did with Antonio Giovinazzi earlier on in the Grand Prix, and we're up the order. So now we'll get on the back of the first Red Bull car of the 2. I think it's Nico Carey there in the first Red Bull car, then Pierre Gasly, and then followed by up the road the 2 Alfa Romeos of Fuoco and Leclerc, I think, is lined up. We go through the final corner, and look at the downforce we've got and grip on these brand spanking new set of tyres against Nico Carey with DRS wide open. We'll get the move done. You can see in the background there, I think that's Sebastian Vettel. Ferrari just coming out of the pits now, so we have jumped Sebastian, I think, in the undercut. So we're technically going to be leading the Grand Prix, I believe, unless someone else is going to do an absolute madness on the overcut strategy. I think that will be Sebastian Vettel successfully jumped and us into a net P1 as we now send it down the inside of Pierre Gasly, our former teammate from season 4, and now we can get on the back of Antonio Fuoco, and you can see in the replay camera shot there, Sebastian Vettel finds himself behind Lando Norris, so he's got so many cars to overtake before he can even see the back end of my car. So successfully the undercut strategy for us has worked out, unless, as I said, someone's just done an absolute madness on the overcut. We'll have to see, but we sent it down the inside of Antonio Fuoco there, and we'll get up the order, and now we've got a bit of clean air to Charles Leclerc to try and catch up, but up into what should be, I think, is net P5 there. So I think most people have actually made their pit stops already, so I'm pretty confident that we are indeed up into what will eventually be a net first place as we move on now. This is Antonio Giovinazzi we're having a look at, trying to overtake Nico Hülkenberg, who's also trying to overtake one of the Williams cars. He's going to send it down the inside. Antonio will have to just stick behind as the Haas car does make the move successfully. Bit of smoke there, so a little bit of locking up from the Williams car. You can see there's a huge train behind them, who that's kind of led by the 2 Renault cars, so you can just see what I was talking about traffic being a major issue around this circuit as Charles comes into the pits now. So we'll get up into P3. It's going to be Mick Schumacher and Max Verstappen at the moment leading the Grand Prix, so I believe both of them are on the soft tyres, so they've been on that set of tyres from the very start of this Grand Prix, so that's why they're up there in P1 and P2. So you can see we'll eventually get into first place. Meanwhile, back behind us, we've got, I think this is Sergio Perez down the inside of Lando Norris. I think that will be, and Stoffel Vandoorne trying to overtake. Then up ahead, it looks like Sebastian Vettel has got past Lando Norris, and then also got past subsequently Nico Carey there in the Red Bull car. So Vettel's going to move on. You can see there is Nico Carey, there Sebastian Vettel, and then there's a bit of a gap to myself. But Vettel's going to get the hammer down and try and chase me as hard as he can. Meanwhile, we cut back to the action with Stoffel Vandoorne trying to go round the outside of the Williams car. It's going to be close. One of them's going to have to give up the position there. I think it's going to be Lando Norris as he goes down the inside and gives the position to Stoffel Vandoorne. But then on the exit, he's actually going to get, ironically, the better exit off that corner. So he'll try and make a move back round the outside. Meanwhile, you can see Carlos Sainz and Antonio Ricciardo right up their gearboxes. Nose to tail there. So close between so many cars. Vandoorne does eventually, though, keep the position. And then as we move swiftly on to the next lap, Carlos Sainz now here down the inside, DRS wide open into turn 1. He'll get that position on Lando Norris, and now he can try and chase after Vandoorne. Obviously, as we mentioned, the man he's at level on points with in the standings going to this Grand Prix. And then behind him, looks like Lando Norris will now have to contend with Daniel Ricciardo, who may or may not become his next teammate next season. There's a lot of rumours about Norris becoming a McLaren driver. We'll just have to see, really. But as we move up through the order there, Sergio Perez, Nico Carey, then Sebastian Vettel there in P2, or effectively P2. I'm not too sure at this moment in time if Max Verstappen and Mick Schumacher have made their pit stops, but you can see there, I'm not too far down the road, so Vettel definitely is catching us a little bit. bit. I'm trying to stretch out my soft tyre as much as we can, and now, meanwhile, later on, the very next lap, Daniel Ricciardo round the outside in the same place Vandoorne made the overtake. He's overtaken Lando Norris eventually, and now, finally, Antonio Giovinazzi may start to come back in this Grand Prix as he goes round the outside there, so he's been struggling so far in this Grand Prix, but now is this going to be the start to get the dice rolling, to get his race back on track as Giovinazzi goes round the outside. Lovely little move there to make that work as Lando Norris was caught napping a tad, and so Giovinazzi up the order, but now we move on. It's lap 17, it's getting very close to the pit stop phase as my tyres are starting to wear out a tad, and Sebastian Vettel will have DRS open now as we cross the line onto lap 18. He'll go down the inside. We're going to have to try and brake a little bit early, maybe try and get a bit of a better exit off this corner through turn 2, going side by side around the outside. Close stuff there, tapping his side pod with our left front tyre, so no love lost there between me and Sebastian Vettel, of course, from our major rivalry in Season 4. For now, he's got the jump on us, but we'll stick close behind. You can see I'm right up his gearbox, just trying to close up as much as we can through the corners and stay with him. It's going to be a bit tricky, obviously, with the dirty air, but we'll try our best because we can try and re-slipstream him later on in the lap, of course, into Sector 3 through the high-speed chicane, or we may even do so right now into Sector 2 as we get a good run here. So here we go. We may be able to try a pop down the inside. It's going to be close. He'll turn to the outside for the next corner, but can we just about feed it through, lock up a little bit? It doesn't hinder us too much there, and it looks like we'll just about squeeze through, but Vettel, crucially, is going to get the slipstream back on us now, so he's back down the inside and through into the high-speed chicane. He's going to have the inside line for the first part. We'll surely have the advantage for the next one. We're going to have to leave him the space on the outside there, and so we both compromise our run and speed on the exit of that corner. But as we straighten out, Vettel's going to go to the inside line. We're on the outside. We're going to brake a little bit early, try and cut back on him on the racing line, get the traction down in third gear, and now set ourselves up for this next right-hander down the inside, just about skate through there. He's still on the outside. We'll try and dodge to the inside and try and switch back on him once again down the inside. First gear stuff, wheel to wheel, literally banging tyres a little bit slightly as we go round the outside, the final corner, open DRS to get first place back. And in the background there, I think it was Sergio Perez who came to the pits on lap 19. So with 10 laps to go, Perez decided to come in a little bit early there for his pit stop. So Perez trying the undercut on both of us, and it actually may work out because of how much we're fighting. But on the very next lap, I decided to come in. We're going to cover off Sebastian Vettel because he's going to come in as well in the background, you're about to see. So both of us are covering each other off, but it's basically going to be a question of where on earth Perez is going to be. You can see in the background that's Carlos Sainz in the other Audi coming down the pit lane. Also, you may have just seen Stoffel Vandoorne continuing on for one more lap. So Vandoorne looks like he's going to stretch his tyres out quite a bit, and I think actually maybe Vandoorne may be trying to go for what is actually the default strategy around Australia, which is super soft, soft, and super soft, which is going to be quite aggressive, but we'll see if it works out. But anyway, we come down the pit lane, and there goes Perez. Perez going to overtake Sebastian Vettel, so the undercut has worked out for Perez. Not to overtake myself, but at least Sebastian Vettel. Now Perez is going to be right on the back of us as Vettel has to contend with some traffic of the Red Bull car. We're going to have to try and defend to the inside line through the hairpin corner, round the outside into this bit of, I guess you could say, stadium section almost, where we try and go side by side now through a very tricky right-hander in fifth gear. Try and squeeze out Perez, but Perez has got a brilliant jump there with the pit stop phase and the tyre strategy still side by side into sector 2. Going to try and squeeze him out. Surely he'll get this with Rich Mix just about. But you can see Vettel now not too far off actually as he's closing up with the Red Bull car as well. And then behind them is a Monster Rehab car ahead of Carlos Sainz. So plenty of traffic. So maybe this actually may work out to be a very good plan by Stoffel Vandoorne to just not get caught up in any of this traffic. As now Perez once again, he has a look around the outside. He's going to have us into the braking zone perhaps. We'll try a cheeky little dive bomb down the inside to try and put him off a little bit. We swing back through. We have to brake mid-corner as he almost brake checks us right on the exit of that chicane. And so now we've got the Red Bull right up our chuff. And look at that. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cars there covered by less than a second. That is absolutely crazy. And also, just not too far behind is the Haas car, one of the Haas cars, and also Antonio Giovinazzi. So many cars, so close together, and we're only 9 laps from the end of this Grand Prix. That is absolutely crazy and awesome to see. But anyways, we get back to this battle with Sergio Perez still brewing as we move on to lap 21, crossing the line. We've got DRS wide open, Rich Mix as well, trying our best to get him in a straight line down the inside. It's going to be close, hit the apex though, beautifully there, skating through turn 1, and we're back up into P1, but he's going to have a better run now through the exit of turn 2. So we go defensive to the inside line, and looking at the mirrors, I think we should have this. We've parked the car quite strategically there in the middle of the circuit to squeeze him out, and so for now we'll get it. But once more on the back straight, or back kind of left, on swooping left-hander really, he gets the slipstream, so he sends it down the inside just like I did to him, and really it's kind of like a copycat move almost that he's trying here against me. So we go down the back straight, he's on the outside, so it's going to be very close. Teammate in the pits pits. So Vandoorne only now has come into the pit. So he's taken those tyres 3 more laps, I think that is, since lap 19. So Vandoorne's done very well to go on to set of on that set of soft tyres, and surely that must mean he is doing that default strategy I mentioned, going onto the set of super soft tyres. For now, you can see I'm getting away a little bit now through the final corner from Sergio Perez. Nico Carey, I think that is still there in the middle of this train with Vettel. And there goes Vandoorne. Look how close he is to us. That's, wow. Vandoorne's gained so much time on all of us. He's down the inside of the Red Bull car, and he's up into P3. So Vandoorne, I think initially he found himself behind Carlos Sainz in what would have been around P5 effectively, and now he's jumped 3 positions there up into P3. So Vandoorne, brilliant stuff and brilliant strategy from Vandoorne to get up into the podium position, and you can see there once again squeezing out Perez, and this is having to be a very defensive drive if I want this first victory in 2020. And there goes Vandoorne chasing after Perez now with plenty of clean air in P3, and for him, as I mentioned, he's done well because he literally did avoid all that traffic of the Red Bull car, the Monster Rehab car ahead of Carlos Sainz, and now also you can see Giovinazzi sandwiching Carlos Sainz there, and Vettel still unable to get past that Red Bull car. It takes them to the next lap now, with Vettel finally getting enough momentum here to maybe make a move down the inside. Equally so, Carlos Sainz, you can see the background also going around the outside of Mick Schumacher. Vettel's down the inside of Nico Carey. He's made that move, and you can see though, unfortunately for Carlos Sainz, Mick Schumacher's done very well to defend down the inside there into the end of Sector 3, and he's still ahead of the Spaniard. So Mick Schumacher really earning his money today, but he will have another chance to have another look down this main straight with DRS. The same for Giovinazzi, so here he goes on to the very next lap. He'll go down the inside. Can't really see it too much from this camera angle, but there we go. Down the inside, Schumacher tries his best on the medium tires to hang it through. Not going to work, and then eventually on the very next sector, on Sector 3 on the same lap, Giovinazzi finally tries to make a move round the outside just as the McLaren car starts to close up on him. He's round the outside once again, and Giovinazzi just about going through, still side by side with Mick Schumacher. Actually gives him a good enough fight, and Giovinazzi really has been struggling for a man who got pole position, really not been on it this entire Grand Prix. I don't know if the setup got away from him mid-race from overnight from Saturday to Sunday, but he's only just got past there for what will eventually be, I think this will be P6 on the road, as it's Sainz in P5, I think, Sebastian Vettel in 4th place, Vandoorne in 3rd. You can see there just about chasing after Sergio Perez in 2nd place, who's subsequently chasing after me in P1. But you can see the top 3 all getting very, very close together, so this is just bubbling away to maybe be a very exciting last few laps of this Grand Prix as we move on now. Daniel Ricciardo now fancies himself to go around the outside of Mick Schumacher. I think he hit the wall there, so Ricciardo lucky not to kind of break off his wheel, as I think he thumped the right-hand side of the wall, but now he goes round the outside once again, just like Giovinazzi did. Copycat move that Giovinazzi did, and he'll just about get it through. There goes side by side once again. Mick tries his best, because effectively Mick is advertising to his bosses at Mercedes basically to give him the drive for next season potentially, with Max Verstappen leaving Mercedes, and so he tries his best, but in the end it's going to be no use. The McLaren car is going to be the better car through the corners in downforce terms, and so Ricciardo does eventually get up into what will be the tail end of the points. But now we move back to our POV onto lap 25 now. I said this fight was bubbling away nicely, and here goes Perez for about the 5 millionth time this Grand Prix. Round the outside, tries it, but doesn't work out. Look at that, oh my god, what a move for Stoffel Vandoorne round the outside of the second part of the chicane. Brilliant stuff there. He's up into P2, and he's made it a 1-2 now for Jaguar Racing. Of course, if you did forget, we are trying as a team, trying to seal the Constructors' Championship. So Vandoorne doing wonders there, but now not great for me. He's now trying a pop at me down the inside for P1. We go side by side, so close there between my right rear tyre and his left front tyre, but we just about managed to keep it ahead for P1 with only about 4 laps to go, including this one of this Grand Prix left. It's all so close here. And now instead of Sergio Perez trying it down the inside, it's going to be Stoffel Vandoorne down the inside just before the high-speed chicane going into Sector 3. He's got it ahead of us. He's up into P1, and we're down to P2. We're going to have to try and swing back, get the best exit we can possibly, get in the slipstream, try and close up. Here we go as we go up the gears. Grosjean taking the boss up the Grand Prix, so he's in some clean air. We go down the inside, though, of Vandoorne side by side to try and take the lead back from this Grand Prix. Skate through once again on the right-hand over the curbing, just like we did on Sebastian Vettel previously, and we'll get back up into P1. Vandoorne settles back down for P2. You can see Perez is right up his chuff there, so any three of us could be winning this Grand Prix still as we move on now swiftly towards lap 28 now, with only 2 laps to go as we cross the line. For now, we're still in P1. Vandoorne in the mirrors, we can see he's closing up. Perez may try and move down the inside of Vandoorne, doesn't look like it as we lock up into turn 1, so Vandoorne will have the better exit. We have to try and defend. We're up into rich mix from standard. We do have some fuel to burn, and so we'll go 3 wide. Oh my god, they're 3 wide for the lead of the Grand Prix. We're down the inside of both of them, and momentarily there, I think it was Perez leading the way, then momentarily it was Vandoorne, and then I got back in front just about in the brake zone, and now these two will go side by side as Perez tries to ruin the 1-2 kind of picturesque moment for Jaguar to try and seal the constructors. Perez down the inside into sector 2. He's going to squeeze Vandoorne now, and that's going to put him under pressure now from one Sebastian Vettel in the Ferrari car, and Carlos Sainz not too far off. So could there be some last-minute drama in the last 2 laps of this Grand Prix? Could Sainz make anything work? At the moment, Carlos Sainz has got to be hoping and kind of praying that something can happen, because he would rather be in the position Perez is in, really, ideally for Audi as well. They'd rather want Carlos Sainz in that P2 position rather than Perez, but, props to Perez for finally showing up this season and doing a decent job. As now Grosjean, oh my god, that's so unlucky. He was setting fastest laps of the Grand Prix, and now he's out there. Now he's out of the race. Maybe that was the reason why. Maybe he just put his engine up into too high of a race mode there, but Grosjean smokes out this Grand Prix, so it's a bit of an unfortunate race for the Haas Chevrolet guys, because I believe Hulkenberg is only in P10 at the tail end of the points. But now as we cross on to the last lap of the Grand Prix, we are just about still leading this Grand Prix from Sergio Perez to Stoffel Vandoorne, then Sebastian Vettel, Carlos Sainz, bit of a gap to him, and then it's going to be Antonio Giovinazzi for P6 on the road. But as we go through the second last corner, it's been a huge defensive drive for us today to try and get this victory, but we come through the final corner. It's taken us 14 rounds, but we'll finally get that elusive win here in MyDriver 2020 season 6 at the Australian Grand Prix. Get 25 points in the bag, and that's going to be my 12th win in the entirety of MyDriver career mode there, and that is going to taste very, very sweet, because going into the Brazilian Grand Prix, the finale, that's going to be a much needed 25 points in the bag, with Vandoorne finishing 3rd on the road, and Carlos Sainz in 5th place there, right behind Sebastian Vettel. But that was a very, very hard defensive drive, really, after some good strategy work with the undercut. Obviously, Perez and Vandoorne themselves kind of tried a bit of a different strategy. Perez with the undercut, Vandoorne with a very surprising overcut, so fair play to him. But that is going to be the Constructors' Championship sealed for us, but a very enthralling Grand Prix. So much defensive work having to be done there, but we made it through. So, guys, if you have enjoyed that video, smash that like button, guys. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. Obviously, next round is the finale, so get hyped for that. Smash the like button for the finale next round, episode number 15 at the Brazilian Grand Prix. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this one. If you're new around here, then do get subscribed for that. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. I'll leave you guys with the post-race question interviews. Goodbye.
Well, the day has finally come for you, Aarav. The elusive first win of the season. It finally came at the penultimate round as well, and I assume it must feel great.
Yeah, it feels good to be on the top step. It's been a while since I've drank some champagne there on the top step, so it just always feels a little bit sweeter. But yeah, no, I mean, more so than just the win, the points obviously comes at a really good time for us. Perez getting 2nd place also did help us as well. It was getting a little bit sketchy towards the end. Sergio and the 2 Audis seem to have some very, very decent pace at the end. Just generally, actually, everyone in that pack looked like they had a bit more, a bit more fuel to maybe burn at the end, faster engine modes, whereas we went aggressive early, and it worked out for us. We pit maybe a little bit earlier than a few, and it worked well for us in the first pit stop phase, and I think for us, I would have rather have had that track position we did have. But yeah, no, it's good. It's come at the right time, and for us as a team to get 1 in 3 and now wrap up the championship for the Constructors at least is really great for us, and my congratulations goes to the entire team, and thanks to the entire team, and they've earned it. They've earned their Constructors title, and these boys have been working so hard this year. Last year was a very big surprise for us to be so close in the championship, and we just about slipped away from 3rd to 4th in the Constructors to McLaren last year, so that was really upsetting for us going into the winter a little bit. But now for these guys to have come out, you know, literally running out the box from round 1 till now, working flat out, we've had issues, and, you know, we've always defended the work they've done, even though maybe the public and the paddock want to criticise the reliability issues we've had. You know, they've done the job, and it's only their second year in Formula 1. They've got the Constructors title, and it was always going to be a big ask to beat Audi, because Audi was so good last year, and they won it last year, and so this year I think they've done a fantastic job.
And of course, you've been in the championship hunt all season long. You were never really bothered about not having won a race, but does this take some pressure off of you for that final race at Interlagos?
Yeah, no, I mean, I've never really been too fussed about it. You know, points are points. At the end of the day, I'm never one to get really too, you know, picky with how you get your points, and I've been very consistent over the entire season. So for me, it's just 25 points really, rather than the win as a kind of, you know, spectacle. But yeah, of course, as I mentioned, going into the last round now puts us in a good position. A little bit of pressure is taken off, but also at the same time, Brazil is Brazil. You never know what's going to happen. Last year we had a bit of a hectic race with rain in the middle of the race, so you just never know with Brazil. There's always a chance of rain either in all sessions really, so I can't really tell how it's going to go there. So it just means that I'm maybe a little bit more comfortable if something were to happen mid-race, or, you know, in qualifying or anything like that. It puts us in a bit of a more favourable position, but, you know, it can easily swing back very fast. We saw that at Spa. We saw that, you know, here a little bit with Perez coming out of nowhere, in my opinion, to come into second rather than Carlos, or, you know, Stoffel, you know, narrowly lost out on second place there. And we saw the two Ferraris from 1-2 going back to 4 and 6, I think it was. So you can just never tell really. So yeah, it puts us in a good position, but job's not done there. We have a pretty tough final race to do before we can kind of maybe celebrate a second title added to the first that we just got today.
All right, thanks for your time, and good luck in Brazil.
All right, cheers, thanks.